Vancouver Airport, Addis Information Victor, time 1342 Zulu, wind 120 at 10, visibility 15, temperature 12, dew point 11, altimeter 3013. Remarks, no pattern work, no light aircraft accepted at this time. Landing runways 8 right and 8 left, expect ILS approach, departing runway 8 right, contact approach on 128.6 when arriving from the north and east and south and west. Advise on initial contact, you have information Victor. Vancouver Airport, Addis Information Victor, time 1342 Zulu, wind 120 at 10, visibility 15, temperature 12, dew point 11, altimeter 3013. Remarks, no pattern work, no light aircraft accepted at this time. Landing runways 8 right and 8 left, expect ILS approach, departing runway 8 right, contact approach on 128.6 when arriving from the north and east and south and west. Advise on initial contact, you have information Victor. Vancouver Airport, Addis Information Victor, time 1342 Zulu. On upon 115, pushback approved, tail to the east. Pushback approved, tail to the east, on upon 115. Air Canada 032, pushback approved, tail to the east. Vancouver Ground, Air Canada 180 Alpha Charlie Heavy, request taxi to parking. Vancouver Ground, UPS 398 Charlie Hotel Heavy, ready for pushback with information Victor. Pushback approved, tail to the east, Air Canada 032. Singapore 311 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 13. Vancouver Ground, American 197, ready for pushback with information Victor. For Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy, hold position. Korean Air 875, pushback approved, tail to the east. Singapore 311 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 13. Pushback approved, tail to the east, Korean Air 875. Holding position, 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy. Singapore 311 Heavy, cross runway 13. Crossing runway 13, Singapore 311 Heavy. Foxtrot Papa Mike Golf, expect progressive taxi instructions. Foxtrot Papa Mike Golf, turn right next taxiway. Right on the next taxiway, Foxtrot Papa Mike Golf. Vancouver Ground, Air Canada 180 Alpha Charlie Heavy, request taxi to parking. Vancouver Ground, UPS 398 Charlie Hotel Heavy, ready for pushback with information Victor. Vancouver Ground, Flare 202, request taxi to gate 44 at the domestic terminal. American 197, hold position. Vancouver Ground, Air Canada 032, ready to taxi to runway 8 right with information Victor. Holding position, American 197. Air Canada 032, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Vancouver Ground, Air Canada 180 Alpha Charlie Heavy, request taxi to parking. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, Air Canada 032. Golf Mike Lima Romeo Golf, cross runway 13. Crossing runway 13, Golf Mike Lima Romeo Golf. Flare 202, taxi to domestic terminal gate 44 via Mike, Juliet. Taxiing to domestic terminal gate 44 via Mike. Vancouver Ground, Air Canada 212, ready for pushback with information Victor. Vancouver Ground, Air Canada 150 Yankee Heavy, request taxi to gate 75 at the international terminal. Vancouver Ground, on upon 115, ready to taxi with information Victor. Juliet 3 Romeo Sierra Echo, request permission to cross runway 13. Vancouver ground, Korean Air 875, ready to taxi with information Victor. Ice Air 696, request permission to cross runway 13. Air Canada 212, pushback approved, tail to the south. Pushback approved, tail to the south, Air Canada 212. Taxiing to International Terminal Gate 75 via Sierra, Air Canada 150 Yankee Heavy. All Nippon 115, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Juliet 3 Romeo Sierra Echo, request permission to cross runway 13. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, all Nippon 115. Juliet 3 Romeo Sierra Echo, cross runway 13. Crossing runway 13, Juliet 3 Romeo Sierra Echo. Ice Air 696, cross runway 13. India Delta Uniform Papa Charlie, cross runway 13. Crossing runway 13, Ice Air 696. United 378, cross runway 13. Crossing runway 13, United 378. Vancouver ground, American 680 Heavy, ready for pushback. Vancouver traffic, Korean Air 875, taxiing to runway 8 right. Vancouver traffic, Air Canada 212, taxiing to runway 8 right.
Vancouver traffic, WestJet 818 is clear of all runways.
Vancouver traffic, Air Canada 256 is 10 nautical miles to the west at 2,000 feet, inbound for landing, will make straight into runway 8 left. Vancouver traffic, WestJet 100, taxiing to runway 8 right. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 212, ready to taxi with information Victor. Thank you, good day, Emirates 359 Heavy.
Vancouver ground, Air Canada 320 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Victor.
Vancouver ground, WestJet 100, ready to taxi with information Victor.
Vancouver ground, WestJet 818, request taxi to gate 27 at the domestic terminal. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 112 Golf, ready for pushback, requesting runway 8 right.
All Nippon 115, request permission to cross runway 13. Vancouver ground, Ice Air 041 November Zulu, ready for pushback with information Victor. Vancouver ground, WestJet 120 Kilo Echo, ready for pushback with information Victor, requesting runway 8 right. Vancouver ground, 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 8 right with information Victor. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 212, ready to taxi with information Victor. Ice Air 041 November Zulu, pushback approved, tail to the north. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Ice Air 041 November Zulu. 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Korean Air 875, request permission to cross runway 13. Air Canada 112 Golf, pushback approved, tail to the north. Air Canada 320 Heavy, pushback approved.
Pushback approved, tail to the north.
Air Canada 212, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, Air Canada 212. Vancouver ground, WestJet 100, ready to taxi to runway 8 right with information Victor. Pushback approved, tail to the south, WestJet 120 Kilo Echo. Air Canada 032, request permission to cross runway 13. All Nippon 115, cross runway 13. Korean Air 875, cross runway 13.
Vancouver ground, WestJet 818, request taxi to gate 14A at the domestic terminal.
Crossing runway 13, All Nippon 115. Air Canada 032, cross runway 13. Crossing runway 13, Air Canada 032. Crossing runway 13, Korean Air 875. WestJet 100, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Vancouver ground, Air France 274, request taxi to gate 52 at the international terminal. WestJet 818, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, WestJet 100.
Vancouver ground, WestJet 818, request taxi to parking.
Vancouver ground, Air Canada 2 Echo Kilo Super, ready for pushback. Air France 274, taxi to International Terminal Gate 52. Taxiing to International Terminal Gate 52, Air France 274.
Thank you, Air Canada 180 Alpha Charlie Heavy.
WestJet 100, request permission to cross runway 13.
Vancouver ground, Air Canada 320 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 8 right with information Victor.
Vancouver ground, Air Canada 256, request taxi to gate 70 at the international terminal. Stand by, 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy. WestJet 100, cross runway 13. Crossing runway 13, WestJet 100. 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy. Air Canada 180 Alpha Charlie Heavy, give way to aircraft ahead. Vancouver ground, Vietnam Airlines 206, ready for pushback with information Whiskey.
Vancouver ground, Air Canada 112 Golf, ready to taxi to runway 8 right. Give way to aircraft, Air Canada 180 Alpha Charlie Heavy.
Vancouver ground, Charlie November Mike Alpha X-Ray, request taxi to gate 69 at the international terminal. Air Canada 112 Golf, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 256, request taxi to gate 69 at the international terminal.
Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, Air Canada 112 Golf.
Vietnam Airlines 206, pushback approved, tail to the west. Vancouver ground, WestJet 120 Kilo Echo, ready to taxi to runway 8 right with information Victor. Taxiing to International Terminal Gate 69 via Air Canada 256.
Thank you, good day, WestJet 818.
WestJet 120 Kilo Echo, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Charlie November Mike Alpha X-Ray, taxi to International Terminal Gate 69 via Delta 1, Echo, Delta, Hotel, Juliet. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, WestJet 120 Kilo Echo. 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy, request permission to cross runway 1. Air Canada 212, taxi to runway 8 right. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, Air Canada 212. Vancouver ground, American 197, ready for pushback with information Whiskey. Vancouver ground, Lufthansa 19, ready for pushback with information Whiskey. Vancouver ground, Vietnam Airlines 206, ready to taxi with information Whiskey. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 2 Echo Kilo Super, ready for pushback. Air Canada 032, request frequency change. Vancouver ground, with Air 701, ready for pushback with information whiskey. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 61, ready for pushback with information whiskey, requesting runway 8 right. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 575, request taxi to gate 78 at the International Terminal. Air Canada 032, request frequency change. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 2 Echo Kilo Super, ready for pushback. Vietnam Airlines 206, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Vancouver ground, with Air 701, ready for pushback with information whiskey. Lufthansa 19, pushback approved, tail to the east. Air Canada 61, pushback approved, tail to the east. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, Vietnam Airlines 206. Pushback approved, tail to the east, Lufthansa 19. Pushback approved, tail to the east, Air Canada 61. Attention all aircraft, please stand by, controller changes in progress. Thank you, Air Canada 575. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 2 Echo Kilo Super, ready for pushback. Vancouver traffic, Air Canada 212, taxiing to runway 8 right. Vancouver traffic. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 575, request taxi to gate 78 at the International Terminal. Air Canada 575, taxi to International Terminal gate 78 via Juliet, Juliet Alpha. Taxiing to International Terminal gate 78 via Juliet, Juliet Alpha, Air Canada 575. Charlie November Mike Alpha X-Ray, taxi to International Terminal gate 69 via Juliet, hold short of Juliet. Taxiing to International Terminal gate 69 via Juliet, will hold short of Juliet, Charlie November Mike Alpha X-Ray. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 3377, request taxi to gate 17 at the domestic terminal. Vancouver ground, American 197, ready for pushback with information whiskey. United 378, contact Vancouver Tower on 118.7. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 61, ready to taxi to runway 8 right with information whiskey. On upon 115, contact Vancouver Tower on 118.7. Air Canada 032, contact Vancouver Tower on 118.7. Contacting Vancouver Tower on 118.7, United 378. WestJet 100, contact Vancouver Tower on 118.7. Air Canada 61, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy, cross runway 13. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, Air Canada 61. American 197, pushback approved, tail to the north. Pushback approved, tail to the north, American 197. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 567, request taxi to gate 50 at the International Terminal. Air Canada 567, taxi to International Terminal Gate 50 via Echo, Delta, Hotel, Juliet. Air Canada 550, pushback approved, tail to the north. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Air Canada 550. Air Canada 112 Golf, cross runway 13. 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy, contact Vancouver Tower on 118.7. Crossing runway 13, Air Canada 112 Golf. Contacting Vancouver Tower on 118.7, 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy. Charlie November Mike Alpha X-Ray, taxi to International Terminal Gate 69 via Juliet, Mike, Papa. Taxiing to International Terminal Gate 69 via Juliet, Mike, Papa, Charlie November Mike Alpha X-Ray. Air Canada 575, taxi to International Terminal Gate 78 via Juliet, Mike, Sierra. Vancouver ground, Lufthansa 19, ready to taxi with information whiskey. Taxiing to International Terminal Gate 78 via Juliet, Mike, Sierra, Air Canada 575. Vancouver ground, Air Canada 2 Echo Kilo Super, ready for pushback with information X-ray. Lufthansa 19, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of Juliet Alpha. Air Canada 2 Echo Kilo Super, pushback approved, tail to the north. Vancouver ground, Cafe 738 Whiskey Yankee, request taxi to gate 66 at the International Terminal. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Air Canada 2 Echo Kilo Super. Cafe 738 Whiskey Yankee, taxi to International Terminal Gate 66 via Delta, Hotel, Juliet. Vancouver ground, American 197, ready to taxi with information whiskey. Lufthansa 19, give way to aircraft on your left. Give way to aircraft, Lufthansa 19. American 197, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331. Air Canada 212, request permission to cross runway 13. Air Canada 212, continue taxi, Air Canada 212. WestJet 120 Kilo Echo, request permission to cross runway 13. Taxi to parking, Finnair 007 Heavy. Cafe 689 Victor Alpha, pushback approved, tail to the east. Pushback approved, tail to the east, Cafe 689 Victor Alpha. Air Canada 567, taxi to International Terminal Gate 50 via Juliet, Juliet Bravo. Taxiing to International Terminal Gate 50 via Juliet, Juliet Bravo, Air Canada 567. Vancouver ground, WestJet 1710, ready for pushback with information X-ray. WestJet 1710, pushback approved, tail to the north. Pushback approved, tail to the north, WestJet 1710. Air Canada 112 Golf, contact Vancouver. Air Canada 212, cross runway 1, crossing runway 13, Air Canada 212. Air Canada 567, give way to aircraft on your right. Crossing runway 13, WestJet 120 Kilo Echo. Give way to aircraft, Air Canada 567. Air Canada 550, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, Air Canada 550. American 197, request permission to cross runway 13. American 197, cross runway 13. Crossing runway 13, American 197. Air Canada 320 Heavy, contact Vancouver Tower on 118.7. Contacting Vancouver Tower on 118.7, Air Canada 320 Heavy. Vancouver ground, WestJet 1710, ready to taxi with information X-ray. WestJet 1710, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, WestJet 1710. Vancouver ground, Cathay 689 Victor Alpha, ready to taxi with information X-ray. Cathay 689 Victor Alpha, taxi to runway 8 right, hold short of 1331. Taxiing to runway 8 right, will hold short of 1331, Cathay 689 Victor Alpha. Cathay 689 Victor Alpha, give way to aircraft ahead. Give way to aircraft, Cathay 689 Victor Alpha. Ice Air 041 November Zulu, contact Vancouver Tower on 118.7. WestJet 120 Kilo Echo, contact Vancouver Tower on 118.7. Contacting Vancouver Tower on 118.7, Ice Air 041 November Zulu. Thank you, good day, WestJet 120 Kilo Echo. Lufthansa 19, continue taxi. Cathay 689 Victor Alpha, give way to aircraft on your right. Continue taxi, Lufthansa 19. Give way to aircraft, Cathay 689 Victor Alpha. Air Canada 212, contact Vancouver Tower on 1... Contacting Vancouver Tower on 118.7, Air Canada 212. Air Canada 212, request permission to cross runway 13. United 378, thank you, good day. United 378. Air Canada 212, crossing runway 13, Air Canada 212. Vancouver Tower, Korean Air 875, ready for departure at runway 8 right, departing west. Korean Air 875, line up and wait runway 8 right.
Vancouver Tower, WestJet 817, inbound on the ILS runway 8 left.
Line up and wait runway 8 right, Korean Air 875. Contacting Vancouver approach on 128.6, United 378. On upon 115, wind 090 at 10, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. FlexJet 817, wind 090 at 10, number 4, runway 8 left, cleared to land. Cleared for takeoff, runway 8 right, on upon 115.
Number 4, cleared to land, runway 8 left, FlexJet 817.
Flare 821, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway.
Wilco, Flare 821.
Vancouver Tower, WestJet 100, ready for departure at runway 8 right, departing east. On upon 115, thank you, good day. On upon 115, contact Vancouver approach on 128.6. Contacting Vancouver approach on 128.6, on upon 115. Korean Air 875, wind 100 at 12, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, runway 8 right, Korean Air 875. Air Canada 032, line up and wait runway 8 right. WestJet 100, hold short of runway 8 right. Line up and wait runway 8 right, Air Canada 032. Holding short runway 8 right, WestJet 100. Emirates 95 Super, exit runway when able and contact ground, please expedite, traffic on final. Flare 821, contact Vancouver ground on 121.7. Korean Air 875, thank you, good day. Korean Air 875, contact Vancouver approach on 128.6. Wilco, Emirates 95 Super. Air Canada 032, wind 090 at 10, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff.
Contacting Vancouver ground on 121.7, Flare 821.
WestJet 100, line up and wait runway 8 right. Contacting Vancouver approach on 128.6, Korean Air 875. Line up and wait runway 8 right, WestJet 100. Air Canada 553, stay intentioned. Executing this approach, Air Canada 553. Air Canada 553, go around, fly runway heading runway 8 left. Going around, fly runway heading runway 8 left, Air Canada 553. Air Canada 032, thank you, good day. Air Canada 032, contact Vancouver approach on 128.6. Contacting Vancouver approach on 128.6, Air Canada 032. Air Canada 553, contact Vancouver approach on 128.6. WestJet 100, wind 090 at 10, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Contacting Vancouver approach on 128.6, Air Canada 553. Cleared for takeoff, runway 8 right, WestJet 100. Seabird 904 Heavy, stay in tension. 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy, line up and wait runway 8 right. Vancouver Tower, Seabird 904 Heavy at 7 nautical miles to the west at 2,000 feet, inbound for landing. Line up and wait runway 8 right, 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy. Number 2, cleared to land, runway 8 left, Seabird 904 Heavy. WestJet 100, thank you, good day. WestJet 100, contact Vancouver approach on 128.6. Contacting Vancouver approach on 128.6, WestJet 100. 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy, wind 090 at 10, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, runway 8 right, 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy. Air Canada 112 Golf, stay in tension. Vancouver Tower, Air Canada 112 Golf, ready for departure at runway 8 right, departing south. Air Canada 112 Golf, line up and wait runway 8 right. FlexJet 817, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway.
Vancouver Tower, Singapore 627 Heavy is 10 nautical miles to the west at 2,100 feet, inbound for landing, requesting runway 8 left.
Line up and wait runway 8 right, Air Canada 112 Golf. Wilco, FlexJet 817. Singapore 627 Heavy, wind 090 at 10, number 2, runway 8 left, cleared to land. 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy, thank you, good day. 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy, contact Vancouver approach on 128.6. Contacting Vancouver approach on 128.6, 4 Uniform Alpha Romeo Bravo Heavy. Cleared for takeoff, runway 8 right, Air Canada 112 Golf. Line up and wait runway 8 right, Air Canada 320 Heavy. Vancouver Tower, Ice Air 041 November Zulu, ready for departure in sequence at runway 8 right, departing north. Ice Air 041 November Zulu, hold short of runway 8 right. Holding short runway 8 right, Ice Air 041 November Zulu. Vancouver Tower, WestJet 1103, inbound on the ILS runway 8 left. Air Canada 112 Golf, thank you, good day. Air Canada 112 Golf, contact Vancouver approach on 128.6. Contacting Vancouver approach on 128.6, Air Canada 112 Golf. WestJet 1103, wind 090 at 10, number 2, runway 8 left, cleared to land. Air Canada 320 Heavy, wind 090 at 10, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Number 2, cleared to land, runway... Vancouver Tower, Air Canada 212, ready for departure in sequence at runway 13, departing north. WestJet 120 Kilo Echo, stay in tension. Vancouver Tower, WestJet 120 Kilo Echo, ready for departure in sequence at runway 8 right, departing east. Air Canada 320 Heavy, thank you, good day. Air Canada 320 Heavy, thank you, good day. Air Canada 320 Heavy, contact Vancouver approach on 128.6. Ice Air 041 November Zulu, wind 090 at 10, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Contacting Vancouver approach on 128.6. Stand by, Air Canada 212.
Approaching runway 08 right.
Ice Air 041 November Zulu, thank you, good day. Ice Air 041 November Zulu, contact Vancouver approach on 128.6. Air Canada 212, line up and wait runway 8, line up and wait runway 8 right, Air Canada 212. American 197, say intention. Cleared for takeoff, runway 8 right, WestJet 120 Kilo Echo. Singapore 627 Heavy, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway.
Wilco, Singapore 627 Heavy.
Vancouver Tower, American 197, ready for departure in sequence at runway 8 right, departing east.
On runway 08 right.
Air Canada 6037 Heavy, say intention. Vancouver Tower, Air Canada 6037 Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 8 left with information X-ray. Air Canada 6037 Heavy, wind 090 at 10, number 2, runway 8 left, cleared to land. Number 2, cleared to land, runway 8 left, Air Canada 6037 Heavy. WestJet 120, Air Canada 212, wind 090 at 10. Cleared for takeoff, runway 8 right, Air Canada 212. American 197, line up and wait runway 8 right. Line up and wait runway 8 right, American 197. Thank you, good day, WestJet 120 Kilo Echo. WestJet 1103, exit runway when able, contact ground on the taxiway. Wilco, WestJet 1103. WestJet 120 Kilo Echo, contact Vancouver approach on 128.6. Air Canada 212. Contacting Vancouver approach on 128.6, Air Canada 212. Pakistan 306, requesting to divert. ICE, Vancouver approach, Air Canada 212, with you at 700. Pakistan 30, Air Canada 212, radar contact. Air Canada 212, requesting climb to flight level 370. Papa Hotel Sierra Oscar Foxtrot, descend and maintain 5000. Descend and maintain 5000, Papa Hotel Sierra Oscar Foxtrot. Papa Hotel Sierra Oscar Foxtrot, contact Vancouver approach on 133.1. Contacting Vancouver approach on 133.1, Papa Hotel Sierra. Air Canada 212, altitude at your discretion. Air Canada 320 Heavy, continue as filed. Vancouver approach, Aeromexico 28 Mike Juliet, with you at 14,000. Aeromexico 28 Mike Juliet, continue as filed, expect the ILS approach runway 8 left at Vancouver. Continue as filed, Air Canada 320 Heavy. Roger, Aeromexico 28 Mike Juliet. Air Canada 212, request frequency change. Air Canada 212, avoid sending duplicate messages. I'm sorry, Air Canada 212. Pakistan 306, please follow instructions or you will be reported. Air Canada 293, descend and maintain 9000. 5 November Oscar Mike Oscar, contact Vancouver approach on 133.1. Descend and maintain 9000, Air Canada 293. Vancouver approach, Emirates 229, with you at 17,700. Contacting Vancouver approach on 133.1, 5 November Oscar Mike Oscar. Emirates 229 is 26 nautical miles northeast of Powell River at 17,400. Air Canada 212, frequency change. Frequency change approved. Air Canada 212, good day. WestJet 12, Aeromexico. Calgary International traffic. Air Canada 212 is 25 nautical miles to the southwest at 12,400 feet. Inbound for landing. Will move straight into runway 29. Calgary International traffic. WestJet 100, going around. Calgary International traffic. Air Canada 212 is 6 nautical miles to the southwest at 6,500 feet. Inbound for landing. Will make straight in for runway 29. Calgary International traffic. Air Canada 212 is on left downwind, runway 35 right. Calgary International traffic. WestJet 100 is on right downwind, runway 29. Calgary International traffic. Air Canada 212 is on left base, runway 35 right. Calgary International traffic. WestJet 100 is on right base, runway 29.
$500. $300.
Too fast, too fast, too fast, too fast.
Calgary International Traffic. Air Canada 212 is on right base, runway 29. Calgary International Traffic. Air Canada 212 is on final, runway 29. Calgary International Traffic. Air Canada 212 is on final, runway 29. Calgary International Traffic. WestJet 100 is on final, runway 29. Calgary International Traffic. Air Canada 212 is on final, runway 29.
Unstable, unstable.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50.
Long landing, long landing. $2,000 remaining.
Calgary International Traffic. Air Canada 212 is clear of all runways. Calgary International traffic, WestJet 100 is on final, runway 29. Calgary International traffic, Air Canada 212 is clear of all runways. Calgary International traffic, Air Canada 212, crossing runway 17 right. Calgary International traffic, Air Canada 212 is clear of all runways. Calgary International traffic, WestJet 100, crossing runway 17 right. Calgary International traffic, WestJet 100 is clear of all runways. Calgary International traffic, Med Airlines 308 is 26 nautical miles to the west at 7,500 feet, inbound for landing, will make straight in for runway 29. Calgary. Pushback approved. Tail to the south. Air Canada 212. Taxiing to runway 8 right. Will hold short of 1331. Ice Air 041 November Zulu.
Wizz Air 701. Ready for pushback with information whiskey.
Taxiing to runway 8 right. Will hold short of 1331. Vietnam Airlines 206. Air Canada 567. Request taxi to gate 50 at the International Terminal. Wilco, WestJet 1103. Wilco, WestJet 1103. Wilco, WestJet 1103. Calgary International Traffic, Air Canada 212, crossing runway 17 right.